Welcome to the Chief Endurance Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Greg McDonough. Each week, we hear real-time stories from athletes and CEOs on how to maximize performance through an endurance mindset. Let's get started. Well, welcome to the Chief Endurance Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Greg McDonough. I am super excited about our guest today. She is a standout athlete in rowing, has earned accolades at every level of her career, including 2 All-American honors, and is recognized in the 2023 Big Ten Athlete of the Year. She has represented Canada at the U23 World Championships, Pan American Games, where she became the first ever Pan American champion in the women's 8 and also earned a silver medal in the women's pair. She was part of the silver medal team and the 2024 Paris Olympic team. Please welcome student athlete from the University of Michigan, Abby Dent. Abby, great to have you on the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. This is exciting.
So as you know, we love talking about the endurance and the endurance mindset. So Abby, tell me how your endurance mindset has impacted your life unexpectedly.
I unexpectedly got into this sport, so that was probably the first step. But being in this sport for a while now, the entire sport is endurance, whether it's your fitness, getting through a long day of 8 hours of training, kind of mentally, physically, in every single aspect, it's an endurance mindset. So, it just depends on which way you want to look at it.
So yeah, and we'll really dig into that for sure. I'd love to know, like, has there been other aspects of your life that you've come across an opportunity or a challenge that you're like, you know what I've learned, like being on the water and being in my erg and being on these teams and just pushing my limits, like the situation that I'm in outside of that is, you're able to accomplish something or take on a challenge. Like, have you translated that into other aspects of your life?
I would say, like, every day, honestly. Yeah, there's, like, big events and small events that come by, but it's the everyday battles and situations that have just become so much easier because the mindset you face and the mindset that you take towards an event. Basically just embracing the suck and kind of taking on everything one step at a time, right? So, kind of realizing that things aren't that bad, and if you just rephrase your mindset on how a situation is, then really you can take on anything.
That's very well said. So I'm curious, did you discover this mindset, this ability to sort of be elite sort of early in your life? Like, when did you realize, like, hey, wait a second, I'm actually going to be at the top level at this sport?
Yeah, so I started rowing when I was I guess the summer going into grade 9, actually. And then about a year into the sport, my parents put me in contact with a mindset coach, and I think that was honestly the best thing I could have done for both my athletic and every other career in my life at this point. So, kind of just realizing that every situation is what you're gonna make of it and kind of rephrasing everything to rephrasing how you talk to yourself about a situation and how you approach a situation is really the only thing that you can take control of, right? So you're gonna be thrown with all these unexpected circumstances for, say, like, the water's so bad during a race. Like, you can't change the weather, you can't change that, but you can focus on how you can execute your race during the crappy water. So if you take a better mindset, you take a, hey, this is bad, but like we've practiced this so much. How can I row the best that I can row in these circumstances? And hey, if you have a better mindset than the person beside you, it doesn't matter if they're faster, stronger, bigger, better. If you take it mentally better than they can, then you're going to win the race.
That's awesome. So you mentioned your parents hired a mind coach for you. Was that something that they were into? Was it sort of like, hey, why not? Give us a little bit more background of sort of how that manifested.
Yeah, I guess I actually don't really know the answer to that. My best answer for this is I think this is just my guess from grade 8 Abby understanding the situation too, but I believe there was a family friend who worked with him, and my parents, I think, on the other side of the books, had known that there was potential that I could do well in the sport, but kind of kept me in the low about it, kind of just, like, letting me do my thing, letting me kind of figure it out for myself and find the want and the will to wanna pursue the sport further. on my own, which was honestly really nice that they didn't push it on me and they let me find it myself. But I think that they saw that there was potential in the sport, especially for scholarships in the US too for women. So they kind of were put in contact with this guy, and then he came on and we started talking. I think we worked together for just over 6 years, and I've been in the sport for almost 9 now. So we worked together for a really long time. And I think that was, yeah, that was probably the best thing that I could have done for my athletic career. But working with him was definitely a game changer in how you think and approach everything.
Was there, oh, I guess there's probably many, but what was the first sort of light bulb moment you had with that coach that said, you know what, this is exactly right for me for what I'm trying to accomplish?
I think it took a long time for me to come around to it. Not gonna lie. It was kind of like, "Oh, my parents want me to do this. I'm sure it's good for me, but I don't really know if I can buy into this yet." But A, I wasn't really good at saying no, so I would do anything they told me to do. And B, I kind of
Thank you. As a parent, thank you
yeah,
for that.
that's B, I knew that it was like it was gonna be good for me in the long run, even if I couldn't see it in the moment. I think as a kid in grade 9, grade 8, sitting down and meditating for about 30 minutes in your day isn't quite what the average teenager wants to do. So kind of buying into that and seeing the difference that that can make was a little bit difficult. But I think kind of, I wouldn't say there was like a light bulb moment, but kind of later on in the journey, kind of like I would say grade 11 was kind of where I came to like realization of how actually powerful and impactful it was for my athletic career, and kind of realizing that, hey, like I can be better than every other person out here. Although that sounds kind of cocky, but but like the mindset of like, hey, like if I put in the work and I sit down and I grind and I do everything and more, then like I can achieve anything I want to achieve, and I can take that step further than the person who's just doing the bare minimum and or cheating themselves on half the workouts, right? So kind of I think grade 11 was where it was like the make or break to find a scholarship for school in the US, and kind of taking that next step for like under 23s. And so then it was COVID, so I guess that didn't really matter, but kind of like finding the next step to want to pursue it, and then be like start to get realized and recognized by the senior team. So that was kind of the year where it was like, okay, I really need to like dial down, buckle down, do exactly what he says and more. Like if he says meditate for 30 minutes, I'm going to meditate for 32 minutes. Like just kind of that was the realization of like, okay, this is working. I've had to put in 3 years by now to realize that it's working, but it is. So kind of just taking it on and doing a little bit extra every time.
Abby, there's a great lesson in there about, it's good for you in the long term, but you just don't want to do it today. Have you used that sort of mindset in other aspects of your life?
I have to use that every day, not gonna lie. I don't know, it's difficult, like, you're training for, like, say we have a 2.5 hour practice in the morning and a 2.5 hour practice, 3 hour practice in the afternoon, like, that's 5 hours of your day on top of sleeping, eating, recovery, warming up, like, doing everything. So, finding the motivation to have long days, like, big, energized, kind of, like, busy days is difficult. So I use it all the time of like, okay, maybe I don't want to get out of bed till like 5 minutes before I have to leave. But if I get out 15 minutes, I can do my hair and like feel good, practice good kind of thing, right? So, or I can have like a bigger, nutritious breakfast so I don't feel so bad during my workout. So, kind of seeing your every day, every minute of like, okay, what can I do right now to benefit me tomorrow, or benefit me this afternoon in my workout, or benefit me in a year when I want to try and make trials again for the next team. So kind of instead of letting your everyday things suck, use that to kind of motivate you to have the next best thing.
No, I love it. You gave me a lot of breadcrumbs there to chase. And one of them, we have, okay, as an athlete, right, especially in the endurance world, there are many days that you just don't want to do it. Like you're looking at, for me, like I'm looking at my bike right now and I've got an hour and a half ride this afternoon sitting on my trainer. And I just, you know what? No one's going to know if I did it or don't do it except for myself. And you learn how to talk yourself into it, right? It's like you take these small steps. I'd love to know how you sort of how you tackle those situations where it's that morning and you're like, you know what, I can sleep in for another 15 minutes. How have you broken that down into, um, I don't know, a process that kind of gets that first step so that you know you're going to get to the second, third, and fourth steps?
Yeah, I think that's honestly the biggest challenge in being successful, right? Like, you have to set yourself up to be successful. Once you're on the bike, it's easy to convince yourself to do the workout, but it's the difficult part is getting on to the bike or getting on to the erg or getting out of bed to even get changed sometimes. So I think setting yourself up and having a good support system that, like, A, motivates you and you motivate them. B, you wanna, like, chase this goal, so you're following this person to kind of, like, help you get after it. The biggest thing for me, honestly, is having, like, people to hold me accountable, whether it's I have to go to practice because my teammates are gonna notice if I don't show up, or I have to go to the weight room because my friend who I told we're gonna work out together is gonna be sitting there waiting for me. So having someone to, like, hold you accountable to not force you, but, like, make you get out of bed or make you get onto the bike or make you get onto the erg was the biggest thing that I found to be successful. Um, yeah, I would just say having an accountability partner, whether it's, like, yourself or, like, even for a minute there, I was doing an extra 5 practices a week before our year of the Olympics. So, like, every day I'd go to the gym and I would send a selfie to my friend, be like, "Hey, I'm here." And then once you're there, you're not just gonna leave, like, right? Like, you're motivated enough to do the workout, but it's just the fact of getting to the place.
Yeah, one of my tricks has been, especially when I'm training and running, is like just put your shoes on. And could you put your shoes on just to walk downstairs and go make a cup of coffee? But put your shoes on and just see where that leads. And next thing you know, it's like I'll go out for a mile, and then you get the runner's high, and then you're into 5 miles, and then you finally got the workout in, and you feel great. Uh, Abby, shifting gears slightly, I'd love to understand what it's like being at the University of Michigan, an elite student athlete at this huge sort of powerful school. Like I went to school at George Mason 1,000 years ago, and I tried to walk on the soccer team, and blah blah blah. And they had an outstanding soccer team at the time, a very small program, but it's nothing like sports today, where it's really, I mean, you're really professionals at the end of the day, right? You student athletes are professionals and should be treated that way. Um, I'd love to know what that environment feels like, especially with the football team and the basketball team. Like you've just got this, is there a lot of interaction across the sports, or do you kind of stay siloed in rowing?
I think there's like, a mix of both. So we train in what we call the SPC. It's the Sports Performance Center. So in there, we have us rowing, and then there's men's and women's soccer, men's and women's lacrosse, and men's and women's track and field. So it's a pretty big center of all the teams, but then the building's kind of like divided between all the sports. So we have our erg room and our change room and our tank and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you see different athletes and you see different sports when you're walking to the fueling station or going into the gym and that kind of thing. It's just whether it depends on how much you want to interact with them and allow other sports and other, like, people into your life and how much you wanna shut that out. So you could go a day without seeing another athlete, but you could also go a day with seeing 200 athletes. It kinda just depends on what realm you wanna put yourself in there, but, I mean, I think it's a pretty Michigan's such a big school, and I think coming from a small program at home where we had, like, maybe 5 kids, one of them was, like, my 12-year-old brother at the time, so, like, it wasn't a big program, so coming to school was kind of one of the criteria I was looking for was to have a big program and, like, have the American university experience, and I think I definitely put myself in that position, that's for sure. So, coming here, our team was over 60 people for the first few years. They've shrunk the team a little bit, so I think it's just under 60 now, but, I mean, coming in from a team of 5 to a team of 60 was definitely a shock, but I think it's exciting because you have your group of friends, but then you have the entire team to lean on, and then you have your good, like, best friends on the team, and then you have other groups of people that you meet that you wouldn't have met otherwise, right? So, I think it's a good way to kind of meet a lot of people, find a different, like, experience and different cultures and all that kind of thing, so it's definitely been an awesome experience to be an athlete here.
Fantastic. And I'm curious on the coaching. We talked about coaching earlier. So through the athletic program, are you receiving like mental coaching, nutritional coaching? Like, give us a sense of the support system that's really around you from the school's perspective, and then also from your own. Like, what are you bringing to the table from your own coaches and support and those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely any and every type of support system that you would want here. They have nutrition coaches, they have mental health coaches, they have sports performance mental health coaches, a little bit of a different avenue there, but I mean, they got like anything and everything you want. I think we have, what would that be, 6 coaches right now for our, not the senior team, the varsity team. So, I mean, there's always a support system there, whether you want it and or need it. I'd say the quality of support system is good. It's not great, but I mean, there's like 60 people that each person is working with, and that's just our team alone. So there's how many hundreds and hundreds of athletes in Michigan that these people are not bombarded with, but like overloaded with. But I think definitely having an outside support system as well was really important. And it was a way for me to kind of get out of the sport and get out of Michigan while still being in Michigan and training for Michigan. And I think that was probably one of the better things that I did post Olympics coming back, was keeping that support system separate from my everyday life here. I think it's very easy to be excited and be a little bit overwhelmed here with, like, there's so much going on. You have classes, you have practice, you're Michigan, like, you're going to football games. It's like everything. Like, everything is your sport and everything is Michigan. And I think that is super exciting and super awesome 98% of the time, but there's still that 2% of the time where it can be a little much and it can be a little overwhelming. So finding a support system that works for you, whether it was through Michigan or outside of Michigan, was super important.
That's super helpful. You must have a knack or a hack or some sort of routine around time management. What's your secret? Like, how do you get all that done, right? Going to class, getting nutrition in, getting your workouts done, being a student athlete. Like, how do you, there's only 24 hours in a day, although someone might not have told you that yet, but I'm curious, like, do you have like a biohack that you kind of figured out a way to get all this stuff done?
Like, yes, but no. I think time management is like, you gotta be dialed on your time management or else you're not gonna make it. You're gonna like scrape through and suffer. Like, your life is so much easier and so much happier and so much more successful if you can manage your time properly. And then it feels like you have 33 hours in a day, not 24. So that's probably the best thing. But I mean, I don't know if I have like a hack for it. I love Google Calendar, so like everything almost to the minute is on a calendar. So I'm also probably one of the most forgetful people in this world. So I have a squirrel brain for sure. So like if I don't write it down or I don't put it on the calendar, it's gone. It's not
It
gonna happen.
doesn't.
So having just, I don't know, I guess just like finding something that's gonna allow you to be successful in your time management is the most important thing, but then like sticking to it. So yeah. I think the other thing also would be like, yeah, I guess going off like finding what's successful for you, but like meal prepping. Like, I have everything down. Meal preps. Yeah, I'm probably eating the same thing like 5 days in a row, and that gets a little bit tiring after a while, but like I don't have to go spend an hour cooking every day. So that's an extra hour basically. Girl math, that's like 25 hours in a day now. So you just like finding ways to give yourself more time, but also stick to what you need to do.
I love it. Girl math. And it's so, you're spot on, right? It's the meal prep, and you'll benefit from that for the rest of your life, right? I struggle with it now with my kids trying to go to school every morning, and it's like, oh, we haven't made lunches yet. And so next thing you know, you're waking up 20 minutes early and you're throwing something that's not very healthy into a box and you're sending them off to school because you just want to get your day started.
Mhm.
I'd love to shift gears and talk about the Olympics. So if I remember correctly, you're the stroke seat, right? So you're the one right in front of the coxswain. I would love to relive that silver medal winning row and the intensity. One of the things that fascinates me about rowing and crew is like, it's just this all out intense team experience that's very much driven by your individual performance, right? And you're all in unison, and you kind of get it. Like, I rode for like a half a semester at Mason, barely got on the water, and then got to spring break, and I didn't want to do 2 a days, and so I quit. Um, but there's this magical feeling as a spectator that I get watching, these 9 people working together for however long it takes them to do the race. But at the end of the day, it's very individualistic, right? Because it's you and your oar in the water. So I'm curious, sorry for this long-winded question, but I would love to get some of the sense of what it felt like, that last 1,000 meters, that last 500 meters at the Olympics to win the silver medal, and your coxswain is just screaming at your face, and that 7 other people behind you are waiting for you to really set the stage for this win. And so I'm going to stop there and let that take you wherever that takes you. But I'd love to relive it somehow.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this is like one of the most popular questions to ask, but it's probably the one question that I don't remember the most because you black out so quickly in this race. So like I remember bits and pieces of it, so I'll give you that. But I think for our final, that was probably one of like the easiest races to execute for us, which was super nice and exciting. Like your first race. So myself and Maya were the 2 people on the boat, A, the youngest people on the boat, and B, the 2 people that hadn't raced at the Olympics yet. So we were like the newcomers, the newbies in the boat. And then on top of that, I was also in stroke seat. So there was a little bit more pressure on that seat as well of like, okay, like I for sure can't mess anything up, because if I mess it up, that means all 7 people behind me have to mess it up. Like if they don't mess it up, then we're in even more trouble. So there was a little bit more pressure on like, okay, it doesn't all lie on me, but like a good chunk of it is lying on me right now, which honestly, I do a lot better under pressure. So that was great for me. But I think going into our final, having done our first race, which was probably, I would say, the second most nerve-wracking race of the week there, the first being the heats or the reps that we had to go through after to make the final. But then once you kind of make the final, there's not the like relief moment, but there's like the, okay, we've made it this far. The worst we can do is come last in our heat. But like we've made the A final of an Olympic final. So that is super exciting. So you kind of get to go into that race with the mindset of like, we got nothing to lose. Like you just give her. Like it is 110% all the way down. Like that's all you got. So that was super exciting to be more excited than nervous going into that race. And I think I haven't gone into a lot of races like that, even like at college, at under 23s, at Pan Am. So that was kind of a weird and unexpected feeling going into it, but exciting. And then once the race kind of got underway, wow, I really don't remember a lot of this. That's okay. What I would remember, honestly, or do remember, would be about 250 meters in. Our coxswain Kit called that we were in first place, and then we were in second place, and then we were in first place. So basically, we were like bow ball to bow ball with Romania, I believe it is, or GB at the time. I should probably rewatch this, but that's okay. Bow ball to bow ball with whoever was also in second and first place. So that was super exciting. And I was like, okay. I think at the 250 meter, we kind of did like a little sprint, which was on me and kind of an accident because I got a little excited there for a second, but that's okay. And then we settled back in, and then we kind of like we executed our race plan so well and so efficiently that I think that's what set us up for success at the end of the race and allowed us to have that moment to kind of shift it into a whole new gear and sprint to the line. But around the like 1,000-meter mark, 900-meter mark to go, she called that we were in like 4th place and we were bow ball to bow ball with GB, and they were taking seats on us like every second of the way. So she kind of called like, hey, this is where you're at. Like, are you going to settle for being 4th and missing out on like an Olympic medal by 1 seat? Like, how bad do you actually want this? And that was kind of the like, oh, like, it's go time. Like the first half of the race doesn't even count anymore. Like we have 900 meters to go and that is it. So I think after that, I kind of me and her had a really good relationship, but I also don't love to listen to everything that she said, which was its own little adventure there. So I kind of would like pop into what she's saying and then click back out and do my own thing. So I think I clicked out there for a second, and then about 700 meters in. So typically in our race, we would sprint at like 500 meters. And I think between 500 to 300 meters is like where a bow would typically start sprinting, depending on the race and your situation and what your crew does. But that's kind of like the typical spot for someone to start shifting up a few beats in rate and dropping splits as fast as they can. But our coxswain made a call at the 700-meter mark that we were going to start sprinting, and it was now or never to go for it. So that took us all by a little bit of shock. But I mean, being young in the boat and full of energy, I kicked it right up and we started sprinting at 700 meters. So that was pretty exciting. I remember walking past crews and kind of like taking some seats, but we were also way on the left side, and GB, who we were like head to head with, was way on the right side. So without looking outside of the boat, like I had no idea where they were. And I was just relying on the coxswain, who I tended to tune out a little bit because I needed to be in my own race. So I had no idea where we were. I was just going for it. Balls to the wall, everything you got at that point. So I remember crossing the finish line and it was the like, oh my God, I'm done. And then it was like, oh my God, wait a second. I think we might have medaled. But then we all looked over at the board, and it what felt like 10 minutes. They were like popping out the scores of like who, well, I guess not scores, but like your times of like who placed where. I remember seeing Romania finish first. Like they were so far in first, it was not even attainable to get. Well, that's okay. And then we were sitting there, and like Romania's just sitting on the board, and we're waiting to see who got silver. And I was like, okay, like I'm happy if we got bronze. Like I just want a medal. Like that was awesome, but like I don't know how we did. And then I remember looking over, and then we popped up for second place, and it was kind of this like, oh my God, like moment of realization that like A, you're done, like the pain is over. B, like you just medaled at the Olympics. Like that was exciting and thrilling and like everything you could think of. I remember going into the race, I was like, okay, if we medal, like I have this big celebration plan that I'm gonna do at the end, and like everyone's gonna be so excited, it's gonna look so good. And then we sat there and we waited for the scores to come up on the board, and then I looked over and then automatically just started crying. I was like, okay, there goes that plan, but it's okay. Hindsight, it was better to have your true emotion and kind of like the real reaction to it all. So I wouldn't have changed that, but it was
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got my palms sweating just talking through it. Curious, Abby, did you have anything left in your legs? Could you done another 100 meters, 50 meters? Like
Oh my God.
how much gas was in the tank?
There was probably like 50 meters left, and we were like what felt like half slide, like jello legs going up and down, like just doing the motion at that point to kind of get across the line. So I think sprinting at 700 was a big move and a big risky idea, but it paid off. So, but yeah,
That's awesome.
no,
Congratulations.
thank you.
So shifting gears, so you're studying entrepreneurship. I'd love to know what your career aspirations are, what's looking forward from a business perspective, and then also what are you looking forward to on your own career?
Yeah, so I'm from Canada. We have a big family business at home that's like a seasonal campground, and then we have some outpost camps on Lake of the Woods as well. So kind of the plan after school here with the entrepreneurship minor and economics. So go home and start taking over that and see how I can help with the family business. And I think my two brothers and sister may also join. So it'll be kind of nice to my parents have always done it on their own, and although they have a great big team right now, I think it'll be nice to have all four kids come join and see how big we can grow it and what we can do with it. So that's kind of the next step there. Um, this following summer, I plan to take a summer off from rowing and kind of find my life again and see who I am outside of sports. So that'll be kind of nice to have a break after nine years now. So that'll be good. And then I guess kind of see what life's got for me, and if LA is in the cards in a couple of years, then go back for LA 2028.
Well, let's plug the campgrounds. Can you give us any more information on that? Like where in Canada is it located, website, that type of stuff?
Yeah, so The main camp is Redden's Camp. It's in Kenora, Ontario. It's on Lomble Lake, which is a connecting lake to Lake the Woods, which is the big main lake out there. That one we've got about 150 campers and 12 cabins right now. So super exciting. We always get to see a whole bunch of new people and meet new friends and new customers and all that kind of thing. So that's always exciting. And then we've bought some outpost camps on Lake of the Woods where we do like guided fishing trips, and you can go and stay on the island and get the full camping experience in cabins and lodges and all that kind of thing. And then you go out fishing during the day and then have a big fish fry at night. So that's going to be another fun new experience for us to take on this summer. So if anyone's interested in
Into
fishing camp, let us know.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. So is it a year round? Are you summer focused? Do guests tend to come for a week? They come for a month? They come for all summer? Like, give us a sense. This is all new to me, so I'm asking as a
Yeah,
newbie.
so right now it's spring, summer, and fall. Once the ice freezes, we kind of shut down camp. But yeah, guests would typically come for, I guess it depends on like, so the seasonal campers would come and they stay the whole summer, but people who come for the cabins or come for the fishing experience typically come for about a week or two, depending on how long you want your stay to be and what kind of fishing, camping adventure you're looking for. But yeah, they come out, and whether they're going to the islands or they're coming and staying at the camp and going boating and swimming with the kids and everything, it's kind of nice because it's very open for everybody. So it's very easy for, you can have a guys trip and come musky fishing and come do that kind of like boys club thing, or you can bring the whole family and the kids can go swimming at the beach and the moms can go paddleboarding or go boating or go sea doing, kind of whatever their experience is while the guys go fishing, or the guys stay home with the kids and the girls go fishing. Like, it's very easy and open for everyone to kind of be happy and have something to do and keep everyone entertained. So that's really nice.
It sounds wonderful. And we've got a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners that listen to the show. So I hope the phone rings. We tend to go out on forum retreats and try to get locked into the woods. Abby, one last question for you. So you're looking back, there's a ninth grade Abby. What advice would you give yourself now, knowing what you've been through over the last handful of years?
I think the biggest thing would be take the risk and try something new. I think that's one thing I did unknowingly in grade 9 when I joined the sport, is I just tried something new, and it was the best thing I could have done for my life, and it's taken me so far into so many new countries and new experiences to this point. So I think just taking every experience that you can and never saying no. Well, like, say no when you need to say no, but like saying no to new opportunities and new ideas that people throw at you. And even if you don't think it's something that you're going to love, you never know until you try it.
So an audience member wants to get in touch with you. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
You can email me. That was probably the easiest. My email is abby.dent@gmail.com. So you can shoot me a message there and we can hook something up.
Awesome. And we'll include that link in the show notes and your Instagram feed and the rest of it. Abby, I love having you on this show. You made me relive some of your experiences and really kind of brought out this entrepreneurial spirit in me again today. Your journey has been fantastic. I can't wait to see the decision you make about LA. I hope you're there. The team needs you. The US needs you. Thank you again for being on the show. Listeners, if you got some value out of the show, please share this with your friends, share this with your community. Please subscribe. Let's follow Abby and push her to greater things. Again, Abby, it's been wonderful having you on our show today.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really exciting.
Thank you for tuning in to the Chief Endurance Officer podcast. To hear more inspiring stories and strategies around the endurance mindset, be sure to subscribe below or visit us at chiefinduranceofficer.com. Until next time, keep pushing those limits.